Everybody, it's great to be with you. There is a great deal to talk about. The New York State Senate has rejected the same-sex marriage bill, and of course the issue is the redefinition of marriage in a way that it has never been redefined in the history of humanity. People argue with me about that, and the thing that I never mind arguing with people. As you all know, I take calls that disagree first. I put on the best thinkers from the left as quite often. I not only have no problem, I welcome intellectual differences. I can't stand intellectual dishonesty. The dishonesty is when people say, we've redefined marriage so often in history. Sometimes it's one person, sometimes two. But that's dishonest because it's not a redefinition of marriage. It's a redefinition of the numbers, but not of the sexes. That's the redefinition we're talking about. That redefinition has never taken place. And anyway, New York State has just rejected it. And usually if it's not imposed by a court, it is rejected. Of course, so whenever it's put up for a vote for people, even in Maine, it's rejected. Most liberals do not want to redefine marriage. Most Americans are able to do the following. Not all. There are folks on the right who can't, and there are folks on the left who can't. And that is balance standards with compassion. There are people on the right who abandon compassion and just talk standards, and there are people on the left who abandon standards and just talk compassion. I think there are more of that type on the left, but whether or not there are is not my issue here, which has more of which. But the trick in life is to have both. You maintain your standards, but you have compassion for the individual. And that's why I loathe any baiting of gays, any disrespectful talk about a gay human being, mockery of them, and dismissal of the fact that they are absolutely as created in God's image as a heterosexual. Any of that sickens me. Equally sickening to me is the talk about redefining marriage, because it will change civilization. People think, what's going to happen? Nothing happens. Big deal. So you'll raise kids and say, are you going to marry a boy or a girl when you grow up? And that won't have any effect on their sexual identity, because according to the simpletons who argue for LGBT, sexual identity is fixed. But don't they argue that it's not fixed, that it's completely malleable? The truth is they argue what they want to argue depending on what the argument is about. The reason that I raise this is because it's important, but there's another reason. There is a line here from a state senator in New York, Diane Savino, Democrat, Staten Island. We have nothing to fear from love and commitment. See, isn't that a brilliant argument on behalf of redefining marriage? If we have nothing to fear, first of all, nobody fears love and commitment. I have not heard anybody sponsoring a bill in any of the 50 states or in any region of the 50 states or in any locale or in the most conservative part of rural Mississippi. I have not heard of anybody advocating a bill to outlaw love and commitment between gays, between heteros, between 12 people, or what have you. There aren't even bills to outlaw love without commitment, or even sex without love. There are no anti-orgy bills that I am aware of. My friends, that is people's business, their love and commitment. Nobody is interfering with that. No one. This is demagoguery. She doesn't even know it's demagoguery. She believes this, that there is a law to ban love and commitment. No, there is just a law that defines marriage as a man and a woman. That's it. And if she's for love and commitment, ask her, what if a brother and brother or brother and sister are in love and committed? Would you ban that, Senator Savino? Bet you she hasn't given that much thought. There isn't much thought on the left on these matters. There is a great deal of emotion, whatever the matter is. And that is the big battle. Next hour, I'm going to discuss with you Meredith Baxter coming out as a lesbian. Not that I care whether she is or not. It's not she that is the issue. It's the issue of, well, wait a minute, are you or aren't you? And the answer with women is, it depends. With men, it's pretty fixed, but not with women. It's part of the reason I'm against redefining marriage, because of the effect it will have on young girls' sexual identity. females are far more naturally bisexual than males. But that's too sophisticated for LGBT activists who tell us it's all fixed. All right, I want you to hear an interview. Who's doing this? Matt Lauer is interviewing Meredith Baxter. I want you to hear her answer. She's come out as a lesbian, which, given that she was married 3 times, has 5 children, and is 62 years of age, raises the question, what were you all these years? It does raise that question because one of the phony claims of the LGBT advocates and their heterosexual allies is that sexual orientation is fixed. So what was she doing all those years? Fooling her husbands? I mean, talk about being a great actress. Nothing she did on TV comes close to what she must have done in bed. So, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that she was acting through 3 husbands and 5 kids in all these years. So Matt Lauer asks the logical question. Go ahead.
They think of you as the quintessential TV mom, but they also, if they followed your life at all, as fans would, know that you are 3 times married with 5 children. Exactly, not still. That's illegal in most states. But that you were married 3 times with 5 children, and they're saying, wait a second, when did this happen?
You know, it's an excellent question, and some people are saying we are living a lie. And, you know, the truth is not at all. You know, this has only been like for the past 7 years.
Was it in meeting?
Okay, wait, that's it. So she became a lesbian at 55. Now, I trust that. I'm not knocking her. I'm knocking the fraudulent claim that it's all fixed. So that, hey, if we talk to little girls about marrying women, what do you think? Come on, you are going to make girls into lesbians? It's already determined. We're told that genes do it, right? Of course, it's never been established whatsoever, but it doesn't matter. Lying on the left is for the greater good of a leftist cause is normal, as in the case of global warming. You can lie for the cause because the cause is saving the earth. You could lie for the cause because the cause is gay liberation. Now, it happens to be pretty much true with males. Male sexuality is pretty fixed. I mean, there is still some real problems with Greek homosexuality. I mean, if it's that fixed, how come Greek men preferred boys to their wives? I don't know. I don't know the answer. None of you know the answer. No gay advocate knows the answer. But the simpletonness of the left's arguments, of gay activist arguments, they consider themselves the sophisticates and their opponents are the simpletons. And by the way, there are conservative simpletons on this issue, believe me. But they have no monopoly on sophisticated thought. A woman becomes a lesbian at 55. Till then, she was heterosexual. That's what she just said. Maybe the answer is that culture has a huge impact on female sexuality. Maybe that's the case. And if we redefine marriage, and little girls are asked, therefore, and will have to be asked, otherwise you're a bigot, are you going to marry a boy or a girl when you grow up? Maybe putting the idea in every girl's mind that she might marry a girl will affect, in fact, her sexual orientation or sexual behavior or whatever of the two is your preference. Female sexuality is far more ambiguous than male sexuality. So, if we redefine marriage, we will be redefining a lot of people's behavior along with it. I mean, this is priceless. When did you, her saying, I didn't live a lie. No. I was a heterosexual woman. Absolutely. Polymorphous perverse. That's the fancy term that Freud used for human sexuality. That it runs all over the place. Society has a huge impact on human sexual behavior. It isn't all preordained by your genes.